We are live. I guess we're good. So I'm going to talk. Okay, Zoltan. I can't even say people whose last names I can't pronounce. Istvan?
Yep.
I got it right.
That's
All right, Libertarian candidate for governor. He made me a little nervous because he says, bear in mind that I'm an expert in wildlife, former Nat Geo journalist and wild aid executive. Tell us about that.
Sure. Well, out of college, I began working for the National Geographic Channel as a journalist, and I covered, dozens of stories on wildlife, and specifically, I was always very against poaching, and through a couple of years working National Geographic, I got introduced to this large nonprofit. At the time, is kind of a startup nonprofit, Wild Aid, but they basically try to use countries' own militaries to combat poaching. And I became a communications director of Cambodia for the organization. And, they had 300-400 militia people literally trying to protect their wildlife from the poaching trade. And if you don't know, poaching is a multi-billion-dollar industry and one of the largest illegal industries in the world. And there's a real problem because animals go extinct when too many people want to eat them, especially if it's tiger peanut soup or something like that. It's ridiculous. They all think it's for medicinal purposes, but most of the, very few of these animal parts actually do anything medicinally for people. So we were fighting against the illegal wildlife trade, and I spent about 2 years doing that and about 5 years National Geographic.
Okay, now what do you know about ferrets? Because you kind of concern me as like we couldn't pull one on you that the ferrets are, or you have an opinion about ferrets that we're going to have to change. So what do you know about our issue?
Well, I basically have read up about it a little bit. It took about 5-10 minutes, so not that much. But in general, I haven't been able to understand the argument for why people can't keep them as pets.
Okay, welcome to the club.
Yeah, and I'm pretty surprised that there's an argument out there. I guess I would like you to tell me what that argument is, or what is Governor Brown? Why did he do that?
Well, my guess is that he's 80 years old, and the Sierra Club used to be quite adamant, and all the environmentalists. So I kind of think the Sierra Club put a bug in his ear that ferrets are bad, and that's all he needed to hear. So.
Because it doesn't sound like they do any more damage to wildlife than a cat would do. So I don't understand, and I understand that that seemed to be the main argument, that they would eat birds or whatever. But the reality is, dogs eat cats, cats eat birds. I mean, this is a situation that we've all grown to accept. And, I don't, obviously, it's just not a reason for me to make something illegal, especially when there seems to be kind of a dedicated group of people around America that want to keep their ferrets. I mean, it's not just in California here. I saw it all across the country.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, before I contacted you, were you familiar with the issue?
I got to be honest, I was not whatsoever.
All right, that's fine. I don't expect, like our priorities are not your priorities, and that's kind of the resistance we're finding is, people don't know, they don't need to know, and they don't care, and they don't need to care, and it's quite understandable. It's just that people, who have the ability to make decisions on this, ignore us and ridicule us. However, I think that's changing.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine why people would ridicule you. I think, as a libertarian, I just think anyone that wants to have a pet of their own that isn't harming that pet, is actually providing a nice home for that pet, should be able to have it as long as it's not an endangered species. I'm assuming the ferret's not endangered. Is that correct?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah. Then, I do not advocate somebody having a pet tiger, because I understand that tiger had to be taken from its mother or something like that, unless it's a special situation where it was born in captivity here or something like that. But bottom line is, if people want to have specialized pets and they're not harming, it's not an endangered species, or it's not doing something wrong to the neighborhood. And I mean, it has to be like really wrong. Like I think if somebody had a king cobra next door and it kept getting out, I'd be upset. But, I can't see the issue with the ferret thing at all.
Well, neither can we. So any final advice or any words you want to say?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, just as a 25-year journalist, what you really need to do is go to your organization and pick out the journalists and ask them what they can do in terms of media coverage, because I was introduced to the ferret situation through the Orange County Register's op-ed piece, and that's probably the most, when you Google ferrets, that's the first thing that shows up. So I think if you have any other journalists, try to get them out there and write more op-ed pieces so there's kind of different arguments, different things like that. And then that way, I think you can present that better to the public. I also think, what we did at Wild Aid, the best way that Wild Aid had ever saved endangered species is they went to celebrities and they said, do you like to see the rhinoceros being poached for its horn? Do you like to see the Siamese tiger, Siamese crocodile, poached for its skin? And all these celebrities said, no. If you can find one celebrity, even if it's a B-rated celebrity, and ask him to go on camera and talk about his love of the ferreters, wanting to change his policy. Celebrities can do so much good in media, and it usually only takes one or two. Wild Aid has like 20 of the top celebrities. You know them all. Angela Jolie and all these other people. And that's how it's been able to make its strides in really helping the illegal wildlife situation around the world. I think the ferret situation could be similar if you just find a few figureheads to really concentrate an organized effort, especially around maybe one or two celebrities who really like ferrets.
Oh, believe me, we have tried that. I mean, we had Governor Schwarzenegger who supposedly likes ferrets. And then there's Paris Hilton, who's not a responsible role model for, pethood. Anyway, we're trying to get back on schedule. Thank you. We will put this up at least on the Facebook video so people will see it. And we'll try to get it on a YouTube channel as well. I mean, the election's like right around the corner now. Thank you for indulging us and being one of the guinea pigs. And
Absolutely.
Good luck on your campaign.
Thank you, and good luck with your campaign as well.
All right. Thanks, Zoltan.
All right. Bye-bye.